A wise man or woman once said, "You are under no obligation to be the same person you were yesterday." And as simple as that advice or quote is very profound, because think about it. You could have been a completely undisciplined loser the day before. You don't have to be a loser today. You don't have to be a loser tomorrow. You could have made 150,000 poor decisions in the last year, and those decisions don't have to define you. As someone who has made a lot of mistakes, which we all have, but as someone, I want to speak to myself. I've made a lot of mistakes. I have screwed up a lot. More than the average person, I would say, my age. As someone who's done that, what I realized about the mistakes is I assigned those mistakes to my identity. Meaning, oh, okay, I was a bad friend here. I must be a bad friend. Or I was a bad person here in this relationship. I must be a bad boyfriend. Or I was shady here. I must be a shady individual. No, you have moments of shadiness. You have moments of negativity, but these things don't define you, is basically what the quote is saying. And a lot of us, when we make that big mistake, we think to ourselves, this is who I am. But you need to source out examples from people that have done really bad things. Think about it. Think about how many drug dealers are now successful rappers now. Are they supposed to feel bad for drug dealing and killing and murdering in their past before they became successful now? I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I don't know if they're actual killers and murderers, but you hear the lyrics. Are they supposed to feel bad for the rest of their lives? If you go back to the Bible, God did not call the perfect to spread his word. The people he called were some of the worst. These people were killers. These people were scammers. These people were ungodly. And he used the worst of us to deliver his message. And it's profound because it gives you the idea of your testimony can change someone's life. If I was an individual who was a killer in my past, I don't have to be a killer tomorrow. I don't have to be. Now, there are steps you need to take in order to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made, whether that's therapy, whether that's meditation, whether that's whatever method you need to do to get over the past trauma that you did. Do it. It's worth it and necessary. And you need to forgive yourself. As someone, speaking for myself, as someone who has a hard time forgiving himself for the things he did in the past, trust me, it's very necessary for your growth. Because if you're not able to forgive yourself, you'll never be able to move on. And living in regret, living in grief, living in victimhood is a heavy weight, boy. It hurts, it's heavy, and is debilitating. See, a lot of people don't understand how directly tied in our emotions are to sickness. All right. People that get angry a lot, they usually have a certain type of sickness or disease that afflicts them. People that are sad a lot have a disease or a certain affliction that affects them that is lined up directly with their emotions. There are certain people that go through this life, they never get sick. How do they do that? One person I like to highlight is Lil Duval. He is an individual who expresses positivity to such a degree where he even said on an interview, I never get sick, because he's living in a higher state. He's living in a higher frequency. I don't want to get into the spiritual things now because y'all say I'm too spiritual, whatever. It's also science. You can read about neuroscience, quantum physics, all of this will all give you all the information that I'm saying right now. I'm giving it to you in a less polished way, but it is what it is. So the main message of this video is you don't have to be the same person that you were yesterday. You can change, but you need to take those steps. You need to lock in, because we want to be better. As human beings, if you think about what humans want, we all want the same things. We want love, we want money, we want to be strong and healthy, and we want community. We all want the same exact things. If you ask the average person what they want, they're not going to say, I want $0. Nobody's going to say that. I want to be ugly. Nobody's going to say that. I want to be broke and poor and have no friends. Nobody's going to say that, these things. We all want the same things. So if you did some horrible stuff in the past, forgive yourself and don't do it again in the future, and align with the new version of yourself. If y'all got some value from this video, feel free to subscribe. Again, if you didn't, still subscribe, because I'm getting better. Can I grow? Can I grow? No, but I appreciate every eyeball that's on here. Like I said, I'm posting consistently 3 times a week. I'm locked in. Subscribe for more. Y'all have a good day.